of the mountain. So if you're standing there staring at your mountain today, just take another look through the eyes of faith. On top of the mountain, the view is worth the climb. On top of the mountain, victory is mine. There may be moments it looks like I can't take another step, but I won't forget. If I hold to His hand, once again I'll stand on top of the mountain. On top of the mountain.
I want you to sing the song with me that you wrote for me, No Reason to Worry. You guys probably don't worry about anything, but I do. I have
All the
we're
time.
close kin. I worry about things that I can't do anything about.
Yes.
Sometimes I worry about things I can do something about, and I'm just not doing anything about it. But Whitney come along with this little song that she wrote, There's Just No Reason to Worry. And I thought, if she didn't write that song, if we didn't record that project for one song, but that one song, that's my song, just take it to Him. And the old hymn that we used to sing back in the day in the church was, take your burdens to the Lord and
Leave him there.
leave them there. I am guilty of taking mine to Him and picking them back up sometimes and thinking, well, if He don't move when I want Him to, maybe I can do something about it. And it never, ever happens till I just let Him do what He needs to do. But if you will, sing that song with me.
I have seen some sad days, but many more have been glad days. You see, my God has been so good to me. Ever faithful, ever true, He's never failed to see me through. That's why I can say this to you. There's no reason to worry when your faith is placed in Him. There's no reason for hurting. Let Him bind your wounds, my friend. And when you get thirsty, until the dawn. I know it's hard 'cause I've been there too, but he's not too busy to take care of you. And I know that these words are still true. There's no reason to worry when your faith is placed in Him. There's no reason for hurting. Let Him bind your wounds, my friend. And when you get thirsty, just draw from the well again. Of this I am sure, He's all you need and more. And there's no reason to worry. Of this I am sure, He's all you need and more. There's no reason to worry.
Introduce that old song, Karen. Right over just a minute ago.
And give up and let Jesus take over. Give up and let me. And there was a little something this morning, and I don't think he'll care for me saying it. Y'all can pray for him. But my husband looked at me right before we got up here, and he said, I'm kind of having a hard time breathing this morning. And he's done that before, and we don't really know what it is. They've never found anything for it. But it was kind of, we were talking to each other, and what do you want to sing? And we always just let the Lord lead. We get an idea, but if he changes our mind, more power to him. That's what we want him to do. But I was standing up here, and that was kind of gnawing in the back of my mind. And I was just like, take care of it, Jesus. And I felt that leaving of that burden. I felt me giving up. And I'm not going to worry about it. It's not always easy, but those songs go hand in hand. If you'll give up, you don't have to worry. If you'll leave it there, you don't have to carry it. Our shoulders are not made for the load, but His are. And I'm so thankful for that. He has been so very good to me. And I'm thankful that, we're here this morning, you all are here this morning, but it won't be long before a lot of us are gone. And nobody may remember us or our name or anything we did, but they will remember the work because it's His work. And I'm thankful that no matter how many of the workmen we bury, we've lost my grandparents. I've only got one left, and he's my pastor and my grandfather. And I've told Lance, I said, I can't even go there because that is a double loss when the Lord calls him home. But I know that the work He's dedicated His life to will go on. And I'm so thankful to be a part of that work. Whether it's holding a door open and saying, hey, how are you doing today? Jesus loves you. Or singing a song for Him. I'm glad to be part of the Master's work. You're a part of something that can never die. And if you're in Him, you'll never die. Your body will go down, but you'll live forever with Jesus. He is so good, and I'm so thankful for all He's done for us, and to be here to worship Him with you this morning. Oh, 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 oh. Stephen was a deacon in Jerusalem. They dragged him out those city gates to try and quiet him. When Stephen preached, those Pharisees, they started throwing stones. But before he died, he raised his eyes and saw Jesus on the throne. Said, you can bury the workmen, but the work will go on. And you can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. When the Spirit's moving, His will be done. You can bury the workmen, but the work will go on. And James was sent to heaven by the edge of Herod's sword. And Peter, he was crucified like his beloved Lord. Well, the Roman Colosseums, the lions and the fire, the gates of hell did not prevail, but just fan those flames higher. Cause you can't bury the workmen, but the work will go on. And you can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. When the Spirit's moving, His will be done. You can bury the workmen, but the work will go on. When they lowered Jesus, they laid Him in that grave. They thought, this is over, and His name it will fade away. But Jesus wasn't listening, no, cause He rose to life again. Our God is not persuaded by the arrogance of man. So you can bury the workmen, but the work will go on. And you can silence the voices, but you can't stop the song. When the Spirit's moving, His will be done. You can bury the workmen, but the work will go on. You can bury the workmen, but the work will go I'm glad that she said the work's going to go on. And there will come a time, though, if you're one of his, that you'll get to go to a new home. And that one is far better than anything we could ever think of here. The Bible says, eye hath not seen, and ear has not heard, and neither has it even entered into our hearts what he has in store for us. And everything here, a lot of times people say Christians can't live a good life, but they live the best life. The best life. We have Jesus with us. Somebody said the other day, can you believe that he is in us? And I went, sure. If he wasn't, it would be me. You wouldn't want to see me all the time and the way I would react to things. But when he's in there and he's governing my reactions, I always tell my girls, I say, let your Jesus regulator kick in. When things happen, you let him handle the situation. Let that Jesus kick in. He's the one that they need to see. And when he's in us, we still war with the flesh a lot. But when he's in us and we let him have his way, then we won't go wrong, will we? I love him today. We'll sing this song for you. It's an old Rambo song, The Hills of Home. I hear them calling me.
Just hold my soul. But the doors of the way are gonna burst wide open when the angel sets my spirit free. I'll take off the line like a mighty eagle. Tears are gone, and their hearts are free. And from the throne, my Savior beckons. The hills of home are calling me. This house of flesh, it's but a prison. These bars of
Somebody said the other day, we was talking about hymnals, church hymnals, praise and worship, various types of music. And we go back so far, Lori, Jamie, we pick up these songs the Rambo's done. There's no expiration date on those songs. And pick up songs out of the hymnal. I want them to sing this if they will. You pick up songs out of the hymnal, no expiration date. Yet God is still touching people today, touching His people, His writers, to write new music. That's an inspiration to the church. And you know, if you've got a music director that's sensitive to that, and he can pull those songs out that bless you and bless the people, it blesses the people singing them too, let me tell you. I've seen it happen. I've seen it get on people that are trying to lead worship. And I thought, you know, there's something in that song that's connecting with everybody. But I'm thankful to God that He is omnipotent. He has no boundaries. And what He done 50 years ago, Buford, He does today, if we let Him. We are our own worst enemies. I am. What I limit God to do is all He can do. If I don't believe Him for what He can do and go outside the box of what He can do and believe for that, He won't do it. It's my faith. I've got to let Him do it. But I want you to sing Whitney, if you would, and everybody here knows verses to this song, probably worship this song, I need Thee every hour. And I do. I need Him more today than I needed Him yesterday.
Tender
one of us. I need thee. I need thee. I'll tell you just real quick who we are. We've not really changed since we was here. Well, we have too. Let me tell you first. My wife Karen at the piano, she celebrated a big birthday this year. And that's the end of that story. But I'll give you an idea. We're a little bit close in age. We're not the same age. But I celebrated this year 52 years singing gospel music. That's serious. I'm serious. 52 years. And I wasn't this big when I started. I got my first bass guitar. Dad bought me my first bass guitar. This was the second bass guitar he ever bought me. But I had my first bass guitar and started singing. They let me sing one song. And I was pretty little. But that's been 50 plus years ago. And I'm happy for my heritage. My mom and dad, Harold and Ada Benton, you may not have known them. But they were here in Kingsport for umpteen years, sung all over the country. And they gave me a love for this music. They never one time asked me to go. Not once did they say, do you want to go this weekend? I just wanted to go. And we went. We're still going. I've got 2 daughters now. Stephanie on the end over there. She's not the tallest of them, but she's the oldest of them. And then Whitney standing nearest to me. And their husbands in the back. Stand up, Lance. Bless my heart. Bless my heart. Son-in-law out of Mississippi, probably. At least he came out of Mississippi. He's back. He's here now working at Eastman. Love Lance. Brent, stand up and show them what is different about us this year. She's not asleep, is she? She was here last year?
Yeah, she was here.
Okay.
She's little, but she was here.
Okay. She's black-headed as she can be and looks just like a Benton. I love that kid to death. Her name's Evie Grace, and that's Brent, her daddy. And Kate Pope, stand up. He's getting to be my helper. Let me tell you, he knows more about the equipment than I do. And God knew I needed somebody to come along and help my soul-timers. He's doing a great job. And I'm Steve, and we're the Bentons, and our sound man, Jamie. Would you make him welcome? Takes a load off when we come to CrossPoint. I think we don't have to do nothing but show up. But we did do a little bit, but not much. He was the one sweated this morning. Thank you, Jamie. Love you, buddy. You, Lori. Love you. Love each of you. And I heard some news this morning about property purchase, looking at property or bought property. That makes me happy. You're going to have a home. You've got a home, but you're going to have one that's yours.
Yeah.
And we can't wait to worship with you. Maybe a little bit in the future, but God is doing what He does on His own time, in His own way, and I guarantee you it'll be perfect. It'll be right. I've learned that a little bit over my lifetime. The things He does it right. Let's sing this song kindly in memory of Mom. If she was here, she'd make us sing it. She's been gone 3 years. And she said, don't, every time we sung, she said, son, you writing a list? I said, well, somebody is. Don't let them put none of them old slow songs on there, old sad songs. I said, well, Mom, there's stuff in some of those songs. I know it. Maybe if somebody knew what they're doing when they sung a slow song, it might do something. Sing something I can pat my foot to. I said, okay. So this was her song. We sung it every time we sang it. So much for them good chords, Jay.
Joy all over me. I you can
Tell
tell.
them about Caden.
I don't talk a lot.
No, she don't, she don't.
We're trying to get
Try
rid
to
of that.
smile. No, I don't talk a lot. I get nervous when they ask me to say anything, and my mouth just, all the spit's gone.
I understand, sister.
My son back there, he ended up getting the flu this year, 2 days before he got out of school. And another little boy got it before him. But Caden was really sick with it. He suffers from a little bit of asthma. So it was scary with him, but his fever, it broke like on day 4. And I thought, well, that's probably the end of that. And then it shot back up close to 104. That was with pain med or ibuprofen. So we were in revival at our church, and they prayed for him and anointed a little prayer cloth. And took him back to the doctor, and they said, well, we just don't understand these fevers. They shouldn't still be being this high. And they kept saying it could be a complication from the flu, and they had recommended that I take him to an infectious disease doctor for the high fever, just not going away. So I made the appointment, but they had already prayed for him at church. And I thought, I don't think I'm going to need to keep that. And I didn't. His fever, after we left the doctor that day, it never came back. And he was fine, and I want to say this, it didn't really hit me to pray a week after he got better. He's not even had a cough from it. That's God.
Yes.
That's what it is.
She said, that's you. She's fine to, I used to be exactly the same when he would call on me to testify, and I'd think, oh, here I go, and I have to do this. And it's still, singing is much more preferable to speaking for me. In a crowd, one-on-one, I'm like my mama, I'll talk to you all day. But the more that you do it, even if you're shy, you get to where you can't help but do it because he's been so good and he's done so much. And I think we sang this the last time we were here, but Dad likes for me to introduce it for anybody that's never heard it. As he mentioned earlier, the Lord's given me a few songs to pen for him, and I give him all the glory and the credit for that. I never knew he'd use me in any way like that, but I'm very humbled to be used in any way by Jesus. And Caden, one of the ladies before church, he was sitting beside me and my husband, and she naturally assumed he was mine, and I said, well, that's his mom, but I said, I'm kind of his mom too, because I'm his aunt. I said, he gets double love. And I was holding him when he was about 2 or 3 years old, and he had cried a lot as a baby. He just had a bad stomach, and it was just, and most of the time you saw us cantering across the living room to get him to calm and to settle. And this was just kind of a rare, quiet moment with me and him. He was asleep. I was with him in his nursery. And I know it was God because my mind turned to Bethlehem all those years ago. And I started thinking, what was that like in that manger that night when that cry of that baby came forth? And I thought, well, they knew he was okay when he cried because I have been present for my sister's children's birth, and I knew that's what everyone was waiting to hear, the cry. And if they didn't cry, everybody was in a panic and trying to fix it and figure out what was going on. And I thought, well, that cry let Mary and Joseph know he was okay and he made it. But then I thought, oh, that cry was the cry of real life, eternal life. And for people like Simeon, they knew. The faith became sight when that baby was born. And then I thought about the cry from the cross when he said, it's finished. I've paid it. Come and receive me and walk with me, and I've got a home for you when you leave this walk of life. And then I thought about my papa's favorite verse. He's coming back with a shout or with a cry. And I told my mom, I said, if God wants to use me in any way to write that, I feel like it could bless people. I said, it's the whole plan, just with those cries. It was 2 or 3 years. His time is not our time. And I wrote it by voice recording it while I drove home from work one day. That little voice said, y'all work on that song. And I resisted at first because I thought, well, I've tried and I ain't got nothing good from it. And I thought, well, okay, it can't hurt. And a melody I never heard,
words I had never thought of came flying out, and I thought, oh, this is God. I've got to make sure I get this down. And I hope it'll bless you this morning. I can tell you personally, I learned about all these cries growing up as a baby and as a young child. And then when I reached the age of accountability and I realized I was a sinner, 7-year-old little girl, I felt that knock in my heart that my mama had told me about. And I answered the cry of the baby, the cry from the cross. And I'm waiting for that final cry. And if anybody's here this morning and not ready, you can answer those calls, those cries. And you can be ready and waiting with the rest of us when he comes.
Who would have thought that a baby was the promise they've been waiting for? Who would have thought this little child would be King, our Savior and Lord? From a dark and lonely stable, there rose a holy melody, the humble beginning of everything. With one cry, redemption story had begun. The baby in the manger was the one who would break sin's curse. With one cry, their faith had now become sight. The evidence of hope they held inside. With the baby's cry, who would have thought it would come to this? The Messiah